We are in the video. We're in it. We're gonna do it. Hey everyone, this video is about reverb.
Molasses Industries. Powerful electronics.
What is reverb? Let's see. I'm actually gonna Google it. Reverb.com, join millions. Oh my god, every result is about reverb.com. What the fuck? Join millions of music makers. Every fucking result is reverb.com. You can buy Molasses Industries equipment on reverb.com. A reverberation or reverb is created when the sound or signal is reflected, causing numerous reflections to build up and then decay as the sound is absorbed by the surface of objects in the space, which could include furniture, people, and air. That would mean in this space, you've got a reverb, very short reverb. Over in here, a little bit louder. And then we come down here, see, it's a little bit more reverb. What we're gonna be doing is reverbing on simulated reverb. So this is not reverberant spaces, this is reverberant objects, like this, spring reverb. We're gonna be talking about a spring reverb. We will also be using that as a jumping off point to talk about the principles in play in the spring reverb. Okay, so back. So this is an old spring reverb tank. It's an Accutronics reverberation unit. Got a free Hammond organ off Craigslist, picked it up. Sounds really cool. This was in the back, and what you could do is you could flip on the reverb setting, and it would send the signal through this thing. So what this is, it's two coils suspending two little springs here. You send the signal in one side, it goes through the reverb, and it comes out the other side. Pretty cool. So we're actually just gonna get hooked up. There's two jacks here, RCA, input and output. And you can't just plug anything into this. It needs to be amplified, which we'll get to in a minute. So I'm gonna plug this in. I have it plugged into this amp over here, small amp. I'm gonna turn it up. Audio might not be that great. As you can tell, it was kind of buzzy. That is because I had to turn up the gain. It's a weak signal that we have to make stronger, and we will do that later. So how does using a spring or some other physical object help simulate reverb? To explain that, we're going to send it over to our disembodied robot voice explanation man, Brian. Take it away, Brian.
In natural reverb, a sound occurs in a space. The sound waves will bounce off the walls of this space, producing what is called reflections. If you are standing in this space, you will hear both the original sound and the many reflections bouncing around in the space. In simulated reverb, a sound is amplified using a transducer and attached to an object, usually a metal plate or a spring. Sound vibrations will travel down the object, reaching a receiver at the other end, but also due to the physical properties of the object, sound vibrations will bounce back and forth, creating reflections and the perception of a space.
To demonstrate this principle, I've set up this little simple experiment here that we're going to generalize to other areas, just to show kind of principle of reamping and some other ways you can do that. Over here, starting here, we have the sound source. That's going into an amplifier. This is an audio amplifier that is amplifying the signal to drive this little speaker. So it's a tiny, tiny speaker. Here we have a contact microphone, piezo pickup, and it's covered in hot glue. It is running into this preamp and into our speakers, which you may or may not be able to hear. What we're gonna do is, so we have this speaker playing things relatively quietly. Putting the piezo pickup on the speaker will cause this signal to be transferred to here, because this is picking up physical vibrations. And what is this doing? It's creating physical vibrations. It's not a one-to-one conveyance of sound. It's changing the sound a lot, in fact. So it's already creating this cool effect that we're gonna emphasize with another experiment. So what I've done here is I have cut out the cardboard cone, which is the part of the speaker that makes the air move. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a tiny piece of cardboard and I'm spooling it up into this little disc. I'm just gonna glue it on to the center of that cone there. Try not to glue my fingers. What we've done here is we've taken off the cone of the speaker and we've made this little cardboard little disc on the center of the speaker. For this first little experiment we have is a paint can, and it's hooked up to this contact mic here. A little bootleg transistor we made. It's playing right now, but you might not be able to hear it. What you'll find is when you put it on an object, you'll start to hear it because the cardboard's contacting the object and using it as the resonator. So if we turn up our contact mic, we'll hear that. I should mention I have it on styrofoam. It won't deaden the object. It sit here and it's basically kind of like it's floating in air.
This is when Will got overzealous and went to go look for more objects to try in this configuration.
Alright, now we have LaCroix Verb. LaCroix based reverb. Okay, another example. So this is a large piece of like brass or something that I just found like 5 minutes ago. If you're missing this piece of brass, but I have the piezo hooked up to it.
Now turn your attention to the breath traveling up and out through your mouth. Feel the breath in your throat, your mouth, and across your lips. Notice each breath as it will now. See how the breaths flow like waves. Fist in, and then a pause, and out, and then a pause. Notice the pauses, these rests.
So what I've done is I've nailed up nails here, here, here. We got the speaker. As you can see, this is not the easiest way to achieve a reverb effect. The easiest way is to drag your recording into a DAW, drop a reverb plugin onto it, and tweak away to your heart's content. But if you're watching this video, you probably aren't interested in the easiest way anyway. You're interested in a unique and fun way to explore reverb.
How to use digital reverb. Step 1, turn on reverb. Step 2, use the reverb and turn the knobs until it sounds good. See, it is extremely easy. We did not need an entire video dedicated to digital reverb plugins, but if you want one, there are many.
I'm not actually going to do building the circuit for Spring Reverb in this video. That's going to be a separate video. And you might be wondering why I'm out in the middle of the woods, and that is because there's an even more low-tech way of doing this, and that is to get a speaker and find a space, play the sound in that space, and record it. So here we are.
control.